All right, I need somebody like Mark or Frank. Are they around? Mark, please. This is presentation time. As we journey from village to village, we not only are given a good time, but we're given stuff to bring back to the Germanna Foundation. And this year we had an exceptionally large amount of stuff, so much that it wouldn't fit in any suitcase, and we had to make up this enormous packet and bring it along as extra luggage. So, starting with the weirdest. This comes from John Blankenbaker's hometown. I think he should come accept that for the foundation. Also, a photograph.
Turn the camera on.
You punch that button.
Okay.
Here is a picture of the village of Neuenburg. This is hometown to anybody who's a Blankenbaker, a Thomas, a Scheibel, a Fleischmann. A helicopter shot taken by one of the members of their Heimatverein who works with the German federal police. So this can hang on the wall somewhere in the visitor center, probably Frank's office. We also have a calendar from Neuenburg. And then moving along here, the Heimatverein in the town of Eisern, which is a Siegerland town. It is the hometown of the Weavers, Tillman Weaver family, and John Hoffman. This is their chapel school, Kapellenschule. And so they have made this plaque for us for the visitor center. And Mark, come up and get that presented. Madison, the camera is not open. Bingo.
It's an all-volunteer effort.
You moved the camera just as it flashed. And then this heavy-duty, don't go too far away, Mark. This also comes from Eisern. We have a master foundryman there who is very fond of the foundation. He gave us a beautiful one last year that depicted the stages of the manufacture of iron. This one is a view from Siegen based on a painting done by a famous Siegen artist. Madison, the camera's closed up.
Family secret.
You have to. I hope one of you has taken a good picture.
Anything I can do, she can do better.
No, that's only the wrapping paper. That's only the packaging. Oh, we need to take that for the hotel. All right. This got left at the hotel. Somebody thought it was being delivered to the hotel, not being put on our bus. So we got on the bus to the airport, and I said something to Madison about, now that package did get on the bus, didn't it? And he said, well, of course it did. And I said, I didn't see it get on the bus. It wasn't on the bus. So we had to get the hotel to DHL it so that it could get on the plane. So it was an adventure. Here is just your brief infomercial about this year's trip and a taste of what you'd be in for if you went on next year's trip. This is not all a serious trip. We played. We found a playground in Gemmingen, hometown to the Clores and the Peter Weavers, that was a medieval fort. We thought that was fun. And so our very youngest member and our very oldest member jumped aboard this merry-go-round thing. We certainly enjoyed our share of good German beer. Now, I want to point out that Matthew Fishback, well, the young, good-looking kid there, I just wanted to point out that that is a Coke he is drinking. We are not contributing to the delinquency of minors on this trip. We went to a microbrewery and enjoyed some more brews in their garden. Now, we may be descended from a bunch of German peasants, but when we're over there, we really do eat like royalty. And so that's just an idea of some of the good stuff that you could enjoy if you came along. Woo. Oh, look at all that bloodwurst and liverwurst. And we saw castles galore, the fabulous Heidelberg ruins. Some of us are pretty nonchalant about the way we see these. We won't mention any names, but if you recognize yourself, Falkenstein, where the Jaegers come from. The Jaegers left the place in shambles. No wonder they left. Beautiful palace in Bad Berleburg. Bruchsal. They even tried to teach us some manners there. Look at the ceiling in that place. Now, most any tourist who goes to Germany could go to all those places and see them. They could drink good beer and good wine and eat good meals. So what's the big deal about what a Germanna trip does in Germany? Well, it really offers you the opportunity to connect with your family heritage in your family's villages. And that's something that no commercial tour company could really ever do for you. Truppach, where about half of the first colony people come from, the Fishbacks, Holzklaws, Otterbachs, Jungs, and Rectors, is just full of charming little timber-framed houses, some of them with blessings on them that God protected their house from burning. Or Oberfischbach, where Pastor Hager was the pastor of the church, where various members of the Fishback and Holzklaw family have lived. Freudenberg, Pastor Hager's wife came from there. The Back family, the Waymans come from there. It's home to several Germanna families and is one of the most beautiful villages or small towns in all of Germany. Now, our people came over here as miners, and so we went to a mine in Musen, where the Kempers, Martins, and Brumbachs come from. In Eisern, we're inside their little chapel school that's pictured on that plaque, and there's the Iron Master himself over there in the vest. We went to Konmarienborn, and there on a hill above the village is the field that's still an active farm where the Peter Hitt farm was. And you've got Ellis Hitt and Betty Ash there standing beside the spring where the Ray Bach, the name of their farm, flows out of the ground. And there's Horst Schneider, our German trustee, unfurling the plans for showing where that farm is located. Falkenstein, that's a hilly place. The bus can hardly get there. And that's where the Jaegers came from. Ertesheim, Broyles family comes from there. They have a wonderful ancient church and just a beautiful little village. Gemmingen, the Clore and Weaver place, still has a castle of the von Gemmingen family. Ober-Ervisheim and Neuenburg, towns for the numerous Blankenbaker descendants, among others, gave us a hearty welcome in the heart of wine country, and the picture was taken from the middle of a vineyard looking down upon the village. But we just don't show up in these villages. The mayors come out and welcome us. You have the mayor of Freudenberg there. You have below the mayor of Siegen, and a distinguished physicist who comes from Truppbach and has been honored by the American Physicists Society, Horst Schmidt-Bocking. Kreistal and Neuenburg turn out for us, the mayor there, the head of their Heimatverein, and the fountain there where Matthew is sitting, they were cooling bottles of sparkling wine for us. Pastors come out and greet us. Here's Pastor Weiss in Musen. Musicians show up to play for us. Sometimes we try to help the musicians out. We get gifts. Here is the plaque being presented by the ironmaster who made it. Cousins come out and meet us. We round up your relatives and they show up to get to know us and sometimes invite us into their houses. Mark showed you one batch of rectors standing there on the sacred stones, and here's this year's bunch. There are other Germanna villages we didn't happen to go to this year because there wasn't anybody signed up for the trip descended from people in those villages. And that's one of the important points, is that the trip is designed around the people who sign up for it. And so we plan the itinerary to take in your village when we know you're coming on the trip. We visit lots and lots of churches. This was the first time we'd been to Netfen, the church where Pastor Hager was baptized. There are the towers of the churches in Freudenberg and Oberfischbach. Ertisheim has amazing medieval frescoes surviving on the walls of that church, and a charming little folk art crucifix on the altar. And who wouldn't be moved not just to look at, but to hold in your hand the chalice from which your ancestors took communion? Or to see the parish record recording the baptism or the marriage of your ancestors, not on a microfilm borrowed from LDS, but the real book itself. It's really a very moving experience. Here is the Kemper record in the church at Musen, and two of the several Kempers that were on the trip. And it's perfectly fair to say that tears were shed that day. We worshiped as a group at the Nikolai Church in Siegen, and we scrub up pretty good, I'll have to say. We visited the Hohe Schule in Herborn, where Pastor Hager trained for the ministry. So from the sublime to the ridiculous, it really was a grand tour with a grand group of Germanna cousins, and we'd love to have you be part of it next year.